There's a lot of anecdotal advice around on improving your marriage. But if you want something you can really use that will actually make a difference and reignite your marriage, check out the link in the description below.
The question, how do I know when it's right to get a divorce? Answer by Tehospita Opte. You don't. Let me elaborate. Very few marriages are such that you'll know instantly it's right to get a divorce. Where one spouse is physically or mentally abusing you, or any other such extreme things according to your internal rules. In such cases, the decisions are easy. For the rest, for the most part, you don't always know. Nobody outside of you is going to tell you. And if you are following voices outside of you, it's not healthy. Most people are not out and out bad. If and when they are complete villains, it's easy to decide. But most people are decent. Not great, but decent. They have certain good qualities that the other spouse appreciates. It is this, what makes it difficult to decide. This is the biggest challenge couples face, in my experience. And the answer, a true one is, you don't know. It's a decision you take based on your particular situation. And, it's very likely that regardless of what decision you take, to make up or to break up, you will always wonder as to what your life would be like, had you done the opposite. So, it's a decision you take understanding that you will indeed wonder this. But, what's essential is to know that such a thought on the hindsight is normal, human. Nonetheless, your decision, and therefore your life, makes you who you are. So regardless of what you think, looking behind, had you taken the other path, you would be a totally different person. Perhaps wondering still. It's a decision. Answer by Johann Dutchman. Alright Mr. Gupta. This is a classic case of Indian family pressuring someone to marriage, because they had been seen by everyone as a couple, so they must be married and no one will marry the daughter because she is tainted. I'll tell you that you are your own person, your feelings are your own feelings. You can't make yourself love her, and you can't stop her from loving you, but if the feeling is not mutual, there is no point in being married to her. Now since it's an Indian marriage, and a lot of families are involved, I would like to give you options that you would have never considered. 1. Talk to her about your feelings like you have to us, but this time, suggest that since so much family has been involved, would she consider an open marriage, where you are able to be with other people sexually? 2. If she is open to an open marriage, then explore the possibility of including her in it as well. A threesome, it could be a small way for you to explore a side of her that you haven't seen. This is extreme, but a possibility. I did this with my ex-GF, and we had good sex for 3 years before we split because I moved to a different state. 3. Divorce is your option, but maybe you could allow her to stay with you for a while until she gets up on her feet. Also try not bringing other people, while she is still around. Give her time to inform her family members of what has happened. Be strong in your decision. Sometimes your family will also pressure you and say that a divorced man is tainted. I am mixed, so I know how Indian families can be. Answer by Shane Eric Matthias. There is no right time. Unfortunately, marriage is not just a romantic arrangement, it is also a financial and legal framework that must be disassembled and untangled so that each of you can eventually continue life as independent individuals. So my short answer is to this very complex question is, by asking this question, it is clear that your romantic connection has already died on the vine. The longer you remain together, the more complicated it will be to deal with the financial and legal elements of your relationship. So based on that analysis alone, the better time is most likely sooner rather than later. If however there are children involved, this adds another layer of complexity, as you must consider the emotional impact your actions will have on them. If they are in their early formative years, the presence of both parents may provide a supportive environment that is critical for their healthy physiological and intellectual development. Getting assistance from a child development professional about lessening the impact on any children involved may provide some helpful guidance in this regard. But all that aside, my experience has been that prolonging the agony of a dysfunctional relationship is a form of benevolent cruelty we inflict on ourselves and our partners. A mutual denial that attempts to foster the false hope this rift will somehow magically disappear, even when every cell in our body says otherwise. Take it from me. It will be difficult. It will be painful, emotionally and perhaps financially. But with perseverance and optimism, you will survive and be better for the experience. Call on friends and loved ones for support and exit this experiment with compassion for yourself and the partner you once loved. Shane Eric Matthias.